Was the letter to the fans from John Fisher intended to incite or intended to try to calm the situation? Because it certainly didn't do the latter. So what happened there? Let's dive into it next. But before we do that, remember to subscribe to this channel by clicking on this button below me. I'm going live as soon as the last out is recorded on Thursday at the Coliseum in the finale in Oakland. You'll get a notification if you subscribe to the channel, opening up the doors to every A's fan, especially ones that are coming out of the ballpark, to join me on a special Oakland Forever show. More details at the end of this video. All right, so back to the task at hand. Brian Johansson, my good buddy that runs Last Dive Bar, we were talking on the phone about the finale, and we were talking about the letter, now forever known in terms like the fumble or the drive. And Brian said to me, what do you think they were intending to do? Were they purposefully trying to upset A's fans? His words were far more colorful. And I said, no, I think this was an effort to calm the waters. And they're just that bad at this. I really believe that. And I was trying to think of a metaphor that would perhaps kind of paint the picture for those that have not been intimately involved in this. I know that I bring a big audience, not from Oakland, that's kind of in on this fight, in on the battle because they listen to me on the radio, they watch this YouTube channel, etc. Just imagine for a second that you knew you were going to take a job and have to relocate in October later on in the year. Okay? And you were in this long-term relationship with a partner that was really good to you. And you were probably not great back. You forgot anniversaries and birthdays, and you never planned any trips, and you never said anything nice. And you kind of knew that, you know what, you were acting pretty crappy for a long time, and now it's the perfect time to break up. Once you relocate to that job, okay, we're going to go our separate ways. You would do one of two things is my guess. If you liked that person and you kind of recognize, you know what, they did me better than I did them, you would begin many months earlier, let's say in February or March when the baseball season begins. Let me make the next 6 months good for her. They don't want this relationship to end. Would you take those 6 months and maybe say, you know what? Let's go out to our favorite restaurant. I want to show you some photos and videos that I found on my phone of when we went to vacation that one time. And these kind of adorable moments that you know mean so much to her. You probably, if you're a decent person and you respect the other person in the relationship, you probably would try to put on a good face for those next 6 months. You could certainly do that much. If you really didn't like that person and you were so happy to get out of that relationship and moving for this new job is the greatest thing ever, you might want to turn the screws to that person. And so what you would do is you would completely ignore the entire relationship for the next 6 months. In fact, you would act like you were never happy and you always wanted out of it, but you wouldn't break up because you could torture that other person knowing that they want to stay together and you don't, and you're going to make life a living hell for them. And then there's the A's, because the A's have the adoring significant other in the relationship. And the A's have made that business decision that that job elsewhere is a better life for me. They haven't completely ignored everything that happened to the relationship, but they haven't given much effort at all. I mean, the A's have had these alumni Sundays with old players coming back, and they've had some brief videos playing before the game begins of classic moments in A's history. But those two efforts feel like the absolute bare minimum. It's like being in that relationship and knowing that you're stuck there and going, you know, I should probably try to do something nice and say thank you. Just taking your phone, not even looking at it, scrolling through it once, stopping on a photo. And it just so happened that it was a random Tuesday where you guys went over to the real estate agent's office and paid off the mortgage from April. And like a Mahomes no-look pass, just holding it out to her to look at. Ah, the warmth and the romance. That's the A's in this situation. Are you trying to piss us off? Are you actively trying to make us mad? Because there was an alternate way they could have handled this. There is a different universe, an alternate 1985, where the Oakland A's back in March decided, you know what? This is going to be really difficult on everybody. And what we could do here is actually attempt to curry favor and make this move as palatable as possible because, you know what? They've been really good to us, and we could use the business down the road. You think about the other things, the other ways the A's could have handled this. Number one, this is going to be a season-long love fest. All we're going to do is thank the fans. And yes, people might call out our hypocrisy, but we're going to try to soften the blow because we could use these fans in Sacramento, and we could use these fans maybe in Las Vegas. Figure out a partnership with a regional airline and say, we will offer discount prices to those that are part of the Oakland A's membership group. And if you book during the offseason, you get a $69 round-trip ticket to Las Vegas on any given homestand. You could wear it as a badge of honor. We are the Vagabond franchise. This is just the next stop, but we want you to come with us because as a modern fan, you don't have to worry about the game not being on TV or the radio in your hometown. You could get a discount of the MLB Extra Innings package. You could just tell fans, hey, you can follow from your phone anywhere these days. Our Twitter feed's going to be filled with highlights. I mean, Sacramento is legitimately just a drive away. You could absolutely curry favor with current Oakland A's fans by extending the arm length and saying, come with us to Sacramento. You are as big a part of this as anything. And yes, some people would be saying you're just manipulating our loyalties. But there is a way to not come off as complete dirtbags. Honor the fan groups like the Last Dive Bar. Honor local business people who are A's fans. Bring in third or fourth generation A's fans who have been with the team since the 60s. Let fans throw out the first pitch and embrace everybody that ever played for this organization. Yeah, there would still be bitterness, but at least there would seem to be an attempt to give dignity and honor and gratitude to the fans that have been with you through thick and thin for a long time, a lot of thin and a lot of thin rosters in the most thinly taken care of ballpark in the league. But no, they have held the fan base at arm's length. They seemingly have waged war with the most loyal of the A's fans. They have given the breadcrumbs, the minimal breadcrumbs of alumni on Sundays sometimes. You could absolutely bring longtime Oakland A's and Coliseum employees with you to Sacramento. You look at the longest tenured Oakland Coliseum employees. You look at the broadcast teams. And what you do is you say, come with us. We want you to spread the gospel. Come with us to Sacramento. And let's show everybody that we care, and you are people that they care about. Connect yourself to how Raiders fans have had to adjust. Hey, if you make the trip to Vegas for a Raiders game once a year, come make the same trip for us for an A's game once a year. But instead, this is the type of delinquency. This is the type of negligence that the A's ownership always shows. Because in that letter, that godforsaken letter, John Fisher tries to act like he actually cares. And so you want to be so angry, so PO'd, that it could almost be as though they're asking for you to be angry. And instead you realize John Fisher is that awful person in that relationship. And John Fisher is walking out that door for a new life in what he thinks is a better situation, for whatever reason that is. And not for a second does he even consider that he was the bad guy. It didn't have to be like this. That is the sin, the unforgivable sin. I'm going to go live on this channel on YouTube the moment the final out is recorded, coming up on Thursday. And I'm just going to take your video calls. We will post the link on all of our social media accounts. And you just click on that link and you will be in the green room of our show. You can do whatever you want on that camera. You can vent, you can cry, you can flip that camera around and show us exactly what the scene is. Document this for history. We're aiming for former players to video conference in. And most of all, we want you to be video conferencing in. The Oakland Forever Show, coming up immediately after Thursday's game, right here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking on this button right next to me. That way you're notified when we go live on Thursday. Follow me on social media for the link at Damon Amendo, Instagram, and Twitter. Until Thursday, everybody, keep your chin up. I'm DA, Damon Amendolara. Thanks for watching.